pleasure to introduce the next speaker, Onnie Martinez. The title is On the Table. So Onnie will share how she was resilient in the face of a corporate layoff and created her new identity as a healthcare entrepreneur in Madeira. Please welcome Onnie.
You got to talk right into it. Oh. Anyway, when I was asked to speak today, I had no idea what I was going to come up with, so I'm just going to wing it. I'm originally from New York City, and when I decided to move here in 1998, everyone asked me, "Why are you going to the Midwest?" And I said, "Why not?" And they said, "It's the Midwest." So I moved here at the age of 27, and talk about the dating pool then. There was barely anyone to find in my area. But I quickly found my place and found someone within 3 months of moving here and became involved in a long-term 15-year relationship. So when I commit, I commit. However, I moved out here and I had a corporate position as a sales engineer, and was involved in a large company who was very supportive of same-sex relationships. So that was good. However, I found myself throughout my 9-year journey there, um, figuring out what I want to do when I grow up. Because basically, as anyone else has done, basically, I went to school, got the job, moved away, did all the things, check all the boxes. And then in 2008, had the best layoff ever. I had no idea what I was going to do at the time. Um, Basically, I had been employed since I was 11 years old. I grew up in a grocery store called La Bodega in Washington Heights, of all places. Yes, I'm Dominican. All the things. I am all the things. But I found myself here and was trying to figure out, oh my God, what am I going to do? And along the way, I started doubting my journey because it was too easy. And the universe said, yeah, it's too easy. So it basically pulled the rug from under me, and I didn't know what to do. And everyone who had substantial credentials like I did was looking for a job, and I was competing with thousands of people for one position. So within a month or two of being laid off, I enrolled in massage school. I said, why not? I had this thought in my head along the way prior to being laid off, that I would like to moonlight as a massage therapist, but the daily grind just didn't help it. And I couldn't do 2 jobs at once. And for some of you who know me, I like to hustle. I currently, I have my massage business, I have an Airbnb, and I'm already thinking about a third business. So it's just in my blood. Dominicans, for some reason, they just say, okay, we're going to do this, and we do it. So I found myself going to massage school. I popped out at the other end in 2010. I decided to open up a massage practice. As soon as I had license in hand, I went looking for a place to call home. And I live in Pleasant Ridge. And I looked all over Pleasant Ridge for a spot to open up, and no one would give you the time of day. And then by happenstance, a friend of mine said, hey, my friend has a business and she wants to rent out a room. And I said, oh, great, because I need to start somewhere. So it happened to be here in Madeira. And I rented a room from her for about a couple of months, and then she changed her business model and it didn't jive with mine. And at that time, there was an office that actually opened up in the same building, and I contacted the landlord and he gave me a shot. And 15 years later, I'm still here. And think, everyone asked me why Madeira, and I said, why not? I picked the place. It picked me. I don't know, but I can tell you that yes, when I established my business here, it was a little jarring as far as conservative Madeira is concerned, because I was like, oh, okay. And when I'm not going to get into politics because um, but for me, moving from New York City to Cincinnati was a huge contrast as far as culture, lifestyles, et cetera, et cetera. So when I established my business here, I wasn't sure. I mean, like I said, there weren't that many businesses that were like me, which was basically brown, female, and hair. No. So, um, I stuck with it. And what I learned was every time a person was on the table, I had a moment to connect with them. And they learned from me. I learned from them. There was a transference of energy back and forth. But basically, what it allowed me to do is open up my point of view. Basically, you know, especially during COVID, the pandemic, we had to use masks, and I had those one or two people that wanted to skirt the mask issue, and that was a requirement to actually receive a massage. But they also told me they explained why their point of view was so important. So I gave them an audience. I gave them an opportunity to voice their opinions or the concerns. But at the same time, I also noticed that, what, they're human too. And they have every right to have a difference of opinion, just like I did. I've learned a lot of things on the table. I have made a substantial amount of connections with people. I've made friends. I might actually have a therapist from the table. I uh I just I love what I do. And I'm grateful that I get paid to do what I love. Um I almost feel like I'm cheating because it's just it's really good energy. I touch people. I'm licensed to touch. Um I help them with their issues. They expose me to, different, you know, ideas, or they might have referrals for handymen or painters or anything like that. Basically, it's one of those wonderful callings, I guess, that you answer, and it just makes you really, really happy and proud to represent New York City. No, it just makes me proud to represent a group of people that are often marginalized and um pretty much discriminated against. And at the same time, when a person speaks to me and is very different from how I am, they ask me questions. Well, as a lesbian, what do you think about this? Well, how does that work? I answer because, and a lot of them say, hey, I don't know. So please, if I'm offending you, it's like, you won't offend me. Shoot. And they'll ask a question and I'll answer. And they're like, oh, I didn't think about it that way. And it allows me to influence another person in our direction. So that's my 2 cents. And I'm sticking with it.
Thank you very much. I know I was touched by that story. I'm sure everyone else was as well.